What industry should we just let die? My math lab, though apparently that was the wrong answer. The correct answer is my math lab. Child pageantry edit, Tarby Gold in this here comment. Much obliged, kind Gilda. Frick Pearson, Sengage, McGraw-Hill, my math lab, Wiley Plus, fuck em all edit, thanks for the gold. The textbook industry really needs change. I saw this post where they had to pay $275 for a stack of loose leaf paper. That's completely absurd, and on top of that you need a unique code that comes with the book in order to submit homework. College is expensive enough without companies like this. I had a professor in college once that hated the textbook industry. So he used a textbook he wrote to be the main material of the class, and instead of making us buy it, he gave everyone a free digital copy of it. Yellow Pages. Every year they leave 100 copies of their Yellow Pages book in my building's lobby and no one ever picks one up. Every person or business I would ever need to look up or call can be found online. Google has killed this industry. Commercials that play on old people's fear. Private prisons and private probation. Years ago, I was on private probation and lost my job. Inevitably, since I could not pay my monthly probation fee, I was sent to jail. It's a racket that does a lot of harm to the poor people. Thank you /anonymous Redditor for gold. Ticketmaster. For-profit prisons. Televangelism. Timeshares. I hear more advertisements to get people out of them than into them. Phone books, mostly useless for anyone under the age of 70, and terrible for the environment. Edit, for those who agree, in the US at least, you can use this site to opt out of phone book delivery in your area. Not really an industry, but can someone please take Sears/Kmart out behind the barn and put it out of its misery? Our last Sears in Canada closed this week. In their final hurrah, Sears had a huge inventory liquidation sale. But there was a big controversy because a lot of the sale items were actually increased in price. Goodbye Sears. You won't be missed. The part of YouTube that continues to feed and fund people like Paul Brothers and Rice Gum, while people who create content and work on them for days at a time to entertain their fans get the long shaft of demonetization. Sex trafficking, child prostitution should really be stopped. Preferably not with the death of the workers, but with the incarceration of the traffickers, pimps. Any business that makes it an absolute belag to cancel your subscription. Edit, meant belag, not the French word haha. Payday type loans. Truly a predatory industry. Cable, specifically Comcast. I'm going to go with the diamond industry. Mined by slave children for a good majority of the diamonds on the market, intentional shortages to artificially increase prices, and they're only slightly better than moist Sanet for the shiny factor. I'll take moist Sanet or lab diamonds any day for jewelry over genuine. I saw a great bumper sticker the other day. It said, "Quit making stupid people famous. Whatever industry that is, kill it." Homeopathy. It doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. It's literally water. At best, it's the clinical application of the placebo effect. At worst, it's stopping people who don't know any better from seeking proper evidence-based medical treatment and dying from curable conditions. MLMs, like those body wraps/Herbalife/whatever else industries. Cable TV, 10 minutes trash show/old movie greater than 10 minutes ads greater than repeat. I work in IT for a cable TV company, and if it makes you feel any better, we're slowly getting there. Revenue is falling at an alarming rate. Lobbying with monetary contributions. I won't pretend to fully understand the mechanics at play, but this seems unethical. The net neutrality situation brings this to the forefront for me. Forming groups and organizations to petition lawmakers is good, but paying for policy is not. For-profit education. For-profit prisons. The current way of doing journalism. The wedding industry. There was a time when weddings were informal gatherings rather than these elaborate bourgeois festivals, and though I never lived in that time, I miss that with every fiber of my being. And seriously, why the frick do you put on these shows of wealth when you don't have wealth? And not only are they needless shows of wealth, they're incredibly overpriced. Wedding cakes, dresses, venues, and basically everything costs way more than it's actually worth. For Christ's sake, if people had half a brain, this industry would have been dead on arrival. Puppy mills / cruel breeding of animals. Not an industry per se, but the mother-fricking penny and nickel. They serve no purpose and cost US taxpayers billions to make each year. Cable television, prices are high and shit like Comcast with hidden fees and shady practices. Between Netflix and Amazon Video I can watch everything I want. Mega churches being tax exempt. I'm sorry, but if your church is brining in enough for your pastor to live in a mansion and fly around everywhere in a private jet, your church should be paying taxes. For-profit medical insurance. Third time being gilded. Thanks anonymous Redditor. Nestle Edit, thanks for the gold smile. Coal. It needed to die a long while ago. Edit, spelling. This calculator I got is not worth $100. We need other companies to make calculators that are usable in tests. Middlemen industries, looking at companies like Ticketmaster. Car dealerships. If we were able to purchase directly from manufacturers, prices could drop significantly. All of them. If it's dying, let it. Such is the natural order. Pharmaceutical sales. Doctors and patients aren't doctors and patients anymore, they are salesmen and customers. Also, the commercials are annoying as hell. For the most part my professors seem to be understanding the ridiculous cost of books. 4/6 of my courses this semester use open source textbooks with links to them provided in the syllabus for free online access. You can purchase a hard copy of most for less than $50 used. The one stats book I had to buy was $200 plus though. I'd say embalming / traditional burial just seems like a waste to me. Why bother preserving a body if you're just going to put it in the ground? Refrigerate me long enough for my loved ones to identify me and get closure, pull out all the useful bits that can save lives and aid research, and then wrap me in newspaper or something, and stick me in the ground as fertilizer. Hell, you can feed me to some hungry animals. I'll be dead, it gaff. I just don't want to be the cause of any unnecessary formaldehyde being leaked into the ground and potentially damaging the environment. Not sure if the research is definitive on that, but still a pointless risk. Not to mention, no matter what the safety standards are and how careful they are, it would suck for an embalmer to suffer long-term health problems because of me. And why the hell do we use metal coffins and caskets? That's just going to corrode and leak into the groundwater. And they're so expensive. Cremation is better, I guess, but still has a fairly major environmental impact when everyone does it. There's a new method where you are buried in a biodegradable pod and have a tree planted over you, and as you decompose, the nutrients feed the tree. I want that. I think a grove of trees would be far nicer than a bunch of tombstones. Would anyone really miss the fur industry? Shit's cruel as frick, and we've had good ass faux fur for decades. The CP industry. If everyone who made / distributed / enjoyed it would just die. the world would be a way better place. The funeral industry, it's pretty much a giant scam that takes advantage of people's emotions. Any sort of beauty pageants, especially ones for children. I think it's truly bizarre. War on drugs. 30 years later and it hasn't done anything except waste taxpayer money. All of the useless subscription-based payment models tied to everything. Fricking Photoshop. I'm expected to pay countless times more, every fricking year, for this product. Instead of just once. And instead of downloading it. If Photoshop sold for $35, guess who would buy it? Fricking everyone. That shit should come standard with computers,